Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Brandon Bias from ChitChatCheckIt.com, and welcome to another fabulous tutorial. Wait, fabulous? What the crap? Why did I say fabulous? That's like gay, and there's no way I'm gay. Oh man. So anyway, scratch that. Welcome to another Tutorial Tuesday. Today we're going to be going over something that's pretty interesting. We'll be taking a picture. In my case, I'll be taking a picture of myself, just kind of standing here in the middle of the picture. And we're going to be changing ourselves into a Super Saiyan, like so. Bam! So, as you can see, we've got a couple of the classic Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan effects kind of going on here. We've got the spiky glow aura sort of thing kind of going on. We've got electricity going all over the place, and it's kind of got that yellowish look to it. And my hair is blonde. Normally my hair is a really dark brown, and it's actually blonde. And I probably could have done a better job with it, but I don't know, considering how dark my hair is before, like that, I guess it's not too bad of a job. I mean, I didn't put a whole lot of effort into that, but anyway, you get the general idea. This is the Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan effect. And in my opinion, it actually looks pretty good. It's not too bad, especially since it's really hard to translate anime into real life. You kind of have to sacrifice a few things and, I don't know, just mess with it to make it work, but I don't know, it turned out pretty well in my opinion. So if you like this, and in the end if you get something pretty cool yourself, then like the video, share it with others or something like that, and just show your support. I mean, we love it. We don't always show it, I have to admit, but I don't know, even if we don't say that we appreciate your comments and all that, we really do. We always love it. So let's just go ahead and get into this tutorial. So I'll go ahead and delete all these layers. And before I actually start showing you how this works, I just want to say that this effect isn't for people that are just following me step by step. It's for people that have a little bit of creativity and understand Photoshop, because this is not something that I can just explain really like step by step. You kind of have to get the general idea yourself. And if in the end I don't really explain this all too well enough for some of you people, I'm sorry, because this is actually a really tough effect to explain. You kind of just have to understand how stuff works in Photoshop in order to kind of get it. So if you do understand it, that's awesome. If you don't, I'm sorry, but just kind of mess with it anyway, see if you can get what you like. Alright, so let's start off by duplicating our background layer by hitting Control J or Command J, and let's just go ahead and rename this, let's just rename this Glow. And so the purpose of this layer is to basically just add a little bit of glow around to the edge of whoever it is that you're photoshopping. So go to your brush tool by hitting the letter B, and make sure your foreground color is set to white, and make sure your blend mode is set to overlay up here, and set the opacity of your brush to 40%. And so basically we'll just kind of zoom in, or don't zoom in, I don't know, just whatever you like. And so just start off with a pretty small brush, and you can size up and size down your brush with the left and right bracket keys, and just kind of do a once over around the edge with a smaller brush like so. Just kind of go around the edge like so. Just kind of mosey around. And if you have a darker area, you might want to go over it a couple of times like so. And then go around the rest of the edge. Maybe do another once over like that, because it's kind of a darker area so you can't see the glow too much. And then we'll just keep kind of going around like so. Ooh, that was way off. Try not to get too much onto your skin. And go once over the hair like so. And voila. Okay, so that was our once over right there. So a little before and after. And stupid block, go away. There we go. If you get one of those like white blocks or something like that, just turn off your layer, turn it back on, and then it'll get rid of that block. Okay, so once you've got your once over done, just kind of use that as your starting point, and then just kind of go through, use a smaller brush to use a really to get a really harsh glow around the edge, and then use a larger brush to kind of just generally enhance the glow in a particular area. So I'll just kind of make that a little bit more of a brighter glow around there. Then I'll size down my brush and then make this a lot brighter, closer to the skin and the clothing like so. And then you can go back and brighten up the areas as you so choose, size up your brush, just kind of mess with it and get something that you like. So I'll just kind of go through this and just kind of make it into something that I like. Alright, so that's what I got through this particular process. I just used smaller brushes to get finer and more harsh, bright glow going around the edge and the closer towards the skin, and then I used a larger brush to kind of make a softer glow around it to help it blend a little bit. And something you can do that's completely optional, but I kind of personally think that it helps a little bit. Go onto your skin, and if some parts look like they should glow a little bit, then go ahead and add a little bit to those areas. So kind of right in here, I think I need to glow a little bit more on my skin, and I think my eyes need to be a little bit brighter. So I'll brighten up my eyes just a little bit like so, and then maybe just a little over here like so, and just kind of something like that. So right there. So that just kind of helps brighten up just my skin, so it looks like that glow is kind of spilling onto myself, like so. And also something that you can do, completely optional, is to swap your foreground background colors, then change that black to like a more of a dark gray or something like that, and then just kind of go in like maybe on your shirt and just kind of make those dark areas on your shirt a little bit darker, and then swap to white, make the white areas a little brighter, and just kind of go through and put in some custom shading, if you will. But personally, I don't really think that's all too necessary. But in some cases, it kind of helps it bring it out a little bit. So I'll just go ahead and leave it as it is. Not really worry about it too much. And so we'll just go ahead and move on to the next step. So the next thing that we're gonna want to do is go ahead and go to our pen tool by hitting the letter P. And make sure we're set to, not shape layers, we're going to make sure we're set to paths instead of shapes. And then let's just make sure that we're set to this exclude overlapping areas. Actually, that doesn't even really matter. Don't even worry about it. Alright, so with your pen tool, just kind of keep it simple. Add an anchor point somewhere in the bottom left-hand area to the side of your leg. Then just kind of click and just kind of make just spikes, basically. Just kind of go back and forth like a zigzag, and then just make it start them out as pretty large, I guess. But as you get more towards the upper part of your torso and your head, start angling them a little bit more and make them a little smaller and a little bit closer together. Because if I remember right, that's kind of how they were in the anime. So just kind of go like that. And then normally you have a little bit of headroom before you get to the spikes, so I'll just kind of simulate where the top spike thing would be like that. It's not really going to matter because you're not really going to see it. And so it's probably going to start right about there, and just kind of continue your little zigzags all the way down like so. Alright, so if you're like me, you're probably going to take a look at your zigzags and be like, ew, that is ugly, I did that horribly, I need to fix this. So so thankfully there's actually a way to go ahead and go back and fix this. So go over here and select your direct selection tool, and then zoom in, and you can actually click on your path and then just change up these points like so. And basically all you're going to do is make it so that they're a little more like pointed upward, I guess. Whoa, go back down right there. There we go. So make them so that they point up a little bit more, and obviously make them a little more broad at first, so like that. And so that's looking pretty good. So just kind of change up these points to make it look like they're more angled upwards like so, just by clicking and dragging these points downward like that. Usually kind of helps out the effects. And maybe not so much right here to make it look like they're a little smaller. And then let's do something kind of like that. And then that's looking pretty good. Alright. So that's one side. Let's go ahead and finish up the other. Alright, so I think I've got something looking pretty decent, actually. Actually, I might move this one down a little further right there. Alright, so I've got something that I feel looks pretty good, to say the least. And again, all of these points up here don't really matter because you're not going to see them, so you can do whatever the heck you want with those. That was just for me to simulate kind of where I wanted the top to be, so I know how to give myself a little leeway, because if these little points right here were right here above my head, then it wouldn't turn out very well. So that's just to simulate that this is supposed to continue and give me a little bit more headroom. Alright, so what we'll do with this is, now that we've got our path for our little zigzaggy aura, we're going to make 3 new layers. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to name them, let's just keep it simple. We'll do aura 1. Hey. There we go. Aura 2. And Aura 3. And so we'll go to Aura 1, and then go back to our brush tool by hitting the letter B. And then let's just go ahead and go up to the top left-hand corner and start off with something like, let's go to 35 pixels. And obviously that number is going to be different for every single person out there, because I've got a pretty large picture. How big is this thing anyway? Right now it's 3,456 by 5184. Oh man, we've got one heck of a camera, don't we? So yeah, if you're using a smaller picture, that's going to be a smaller brush size that you're starting off with. But I'll just kind of show you what this is going to look like so you can kind of know where to start off with. So go to your paths over here on the right hand side, right click your work path and click stroke path. And then just go ahead and make sure your tool is set to your brush right there. And then don't have simulate pressure check marked, and then hit OK. And whoops, I kind of forgot, so let's undo that. Go back to your brush and set the mode back to normal and the opacity to 100%, and then go back and stroke the path and hit OK. And there you go. Now you can kind of see what we're going for here. So we got a pretty decent looking little set of zigzags for our aura. And so that's kind of the general look that you're going for in terms of the size. So so mess with the brush size and get something that you think is a good starting point. And then go back, set the blend mode of this to overlay, and then go to the Aura 2 layer, and then set your brush size to 50. Or if you're working on a different brush size, basically just hit the right bracket key 3 times, so 1, 2, 3. And then go back to your paths, right click your work path, and click stroke path. And again, just make sure that's set the brush, hit OK. Go back to your layers, set the Aura 2 layer to overlay, and then go back to Aura 3, and then size up your brush 3 times again by hitting the right bracket key, so 1, 2, 3. So right now I'm at 80 pixels for my size. And then we'll go back to our paths, right click, stroke the path, hit OK, and then set that baby to overlay as well. And so let's zoom out and see what we got going on here. Okay, so the path is kind of getting in the way, so I'm going to go over here to my paths and then deselect it by clicking off of it, go back to our layers, and now I can hit Control 0 and see what's going on. Alright, so you're probably thinking to yourself, Brandon, this looks ridiculous. What the heck is this? This looks nothing like it was before. I know, it looks a little ridiculous. Just bear with me for a second, alright? What we'll do to kind of make up for this poor looking aura is, well, actually, I kind of forgot to do a little something. Let's merge everything together into its own layer real fast by hitting Control, Alt, Shift, E, or Command, Option, Shift, E if you're on a Mac. And I need to rename this to, let's rename it Sharpen, because I forgot to apply a Sharpen. So let's go to Filter, Let's do sharpen. We'll do a smart sharpen. And so let's just take a look at just my eye or something like that. And basically the whole purpose of this is to bring out some of the details a little bit. So especially in the glow, it's kind of hard to tell in the video, but if you do it before and after, it kind of brings out some particles in the glow a little bit. So set the amount to 80% and set the radius to, I don't know, somewhere above like 5, or somewhere above like 7, 8, or 9, somewhere in there. And make sure it's not overdone or anything like that, and just hit OK. So let me zoom in on my picture, see if I can do a little before and after. Okay, so that brings it out quite a bit, looking pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this again with Control J, and then, you know what, I'm not even going to bother renaming it. We're just going to add more glow to this. So go to make sure you're on your brush tool with the letter B, set the mode back to overlay, and then tone down the opacity to like, I don't know, maybe 80%, and make sure your foreground color is set to white. And then let's go ahead and size up the brush a little bit. And basically you're just going to go to all these little points and just kind of click and drag and let go, click and drag again, just to brighten up those areas and make them more white than anything else. So basically just go through with your brush set to overlay, and just kind of brighten up these tips to make them all completely white. Alright, so while you're doing this, you're probably going to notice that there are going to be a few rebellious areas. And by that I mean, well, this isn't turning white, obviously. This is just nasty, just random colors. So an easy fix for this is just to change your mode back to normal. You know, let's just keep this at 80% opacity just to see what happens, because I haven't tried this yet. So let's just paint in regular white over these areas. And just keep on clicking and add in like so. Alright, so let's just fill in all these areas real fast. Alright, so I suppose that's not too bad. I just realized that I kind of accidentally did this on the same layer as Sharpen Copy, and normally I do that on its own layer so that way I can go back and mask off the areas that I don't really want to keep, but I guess it's a little too late for that. So just one more thing that we want to do to this little aura. I'll go ahead and make a new layer now, just because I meant to earlier. We don't want these points to be completely, I don't know, we don't want them completely sharp. So if you want to, you can kind of go along and just add random like little like bumps in the glow. Oops, maybe not quite like that. So just kind of like do like little kind of like a zigzag kind of a thing again with the using a brush. Just add like random. Let's just go ahead and put that up to 100% so this shows up better. There we go, much better. So just kind of make this look like it's kind of got like a lopsided glow in a way, to say the least. Make it so that's not just like one like solid edge all the way around. And let's just you know, I guess I'll just go ahead and fast forward through this, and you guys can go ahead and experiment as you please. So let's see how this looks. Alright, I like it. Not too bad. So, actually, let's, so, like, now that I look at it, my face is still looking a little dark. So, what I'm going to do is, let's actually go ahead and rename this to, Aura Fix, I guess, because it makes the aura look a little bit better. And let's add another layer, and let's just call this Face Fix. I don't know, something like that. I don't know, I haven't done this yet. So swap it back to our brush tool. Let's set this to overlay. Let's put the actually no, just set that to normal. Put the opacity down to like 20%, and set the blend mode of this layer to overlay instead, like so. And then let's just go ahead and brighten up some of these areas just a little bit, like so. So maybe the side of my face where most of this glow is going on over here, like so. And maybe a little more over here, and then like along my jaw, like that. Maybe some more right there, and maybe some right there as well. So let's take a look. So, alright, I think that's looking way better, making it look like there's actually a lot more glow on my face. Looking pretty good. Alright, so actually let's go ahead and make my hair blonde now, because should be an interesting little adventure. So let's go ahead and, well, let's not add the adjustment layer yet. Let's actually go to our quick mask icon over here and give that a click. And make sure that your mode is set to normal and your opacity is set to 100% on your brush, and your foreground color is set to black. And then just go in, and I'm going to very quickly select or paint in on all these areas that my hair are at. If I was doing this for like an actual image, I would spend way more time on this, obviously, but this is a tutorial, and I don't want to spend too much time, I suppose, because then you're just going to be sitting there bored most of the time, right? So let's just very quickly just go through all this, like so. Just kind of get some of those areas right there. And then just this last little bit right here. Alright, so I'm thinking that's going to be good enough. So let's go ahead and go back and click the quick mask layer icon, and that will make everything outside of that red area that we made into a selection. So all of this is a selection, not the hair. So let's invert the selection by hitting Control Shift I or Command Shift I, and that will invert the selection so it's on the hair instead of everything else. And then we'll just go and let's go to our color balance over here and give that a click. And so then that'll be masked to the hair now. And seeing as my hair is extremely dark, I'm going to go over here to the shadows. And then let's just amp up the yellows and the shadows to start off with. And maybe not quite so much, maybe right around there is actually not looking too bad, actually. But we'll go back to the midtones, give it a little bit of yellow, and go to the highlights and give that a little bit of yellow as well. So a little bit of a before and after. My hair is definitely looking way more blonde. Very unrealistically blonde, but blonde nonetheless. Okay, so let's go back and add a levels adjustment. Oh, actually undo that. Real fast, control click or command click the mask for the color balance adjustment layer. So load it up as a selection like so, and then go back and add a levels adjustment, and that will mask it so that's on the same area as the color balance. And so let's just go ahead and brighten this up a little bit, and maybe move the midtones over just a touch. And not looking too bad, but the hair is looking a little too yellow, so maybe I'll tone down the color balance just a touch. Alright, so that's not too bad, I suppose, but I'll go back to my levels, and because I see some of the brightness kind of leaking off, so let's just go ahead and get rid of some of that, like so. Alright, so that's looking a little better. Oops, I zoomed out a little too much. Alright, so let's just do a quick little before and after. Not too bad. If you want to mess with that a little bit more on your own, feel free to do that, but I'm thinking this is okay just for demonstration purposes. I was just messing with the color balance, made it a little bit brighter with levels, and then if you want, you can add a hue and saturation as well, but in my experiments that didn't really turn out too well, so that in itself is completely up to you. So the one last thing that I want to go ahead and add in before we call it a day is to add in some lightning. And I already made a tutorial on lightning, so if you want to learn how to do that, just go check out that tutorial real fast, and it'll even teach you how to make it into an action to make this like really fast and easy. But seeing as I've already got an action to create lightning, I'll just go ahead and press Shift F12 because that's a shortcut I made for my little action right here. And whoops, I just noticed that my foreground background color weren't set to the default. So let me delete that layer and push the letter D to reset my foreground background color. Gosh dang it. I need to swap these around. There we go. Okay, so with black as the foreground color and white as background color, let's go ahead and put Shift F12 once again. What is going on here? Oh, I know the problem. It's because it starts off on a mask. So let's create a new layer so that way we can start off on this layer, push the letter D, and now let's go back. Maybe there's something wrong with my gradient. Let's check that out. So let's put that back to normal. Alright, let's try this again. Third time's the charm. Shift F12. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Ay caramba, having issues during the tutorial. What could be better? Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and let's just delete that layer right there. And we'll just move this lightning off to the side with our move tool and bring up the transform tool with Control T or Command T if you're on a Mac. Right click and let's warp it. And we'll just kind of move the top of this off to the side like so, just to kind of follow the bend in that, or in the aura right there. And so let's just kind of squish this a little bit, make this kind of like match up with the aura like so, and maybe push this off to the side over here. Just try and get this to match up and kind of come off of the aura a little bit. And that's not looking too bad, so I'll go ahead and check mark that to commit those transformations. And my computer's running a little slow at the moment, probably because I'm recording as I'm doing all this crazy stuff. And with the layer selected that you put all that lightning on, go ahead and go to the effects and give it an outer glow. And leave it at screen at 75%, but I'm going to change the color itself to more of an actual yellow, and then maybe change that to like a goldish kind of a color, kind of depending on the coloring that's kind of going on. And something that I just remembered that I probably should have mentioned is that your glow is probably not going to turn out yellow like mine, because my background was actually already automatically yellow. So if yours turned out like blue or like red or something like that, it's probably because of the background. So I don't really know of a fix off the top of my head. Maybe if you were to use like a light yellow when you're painting all this in with overlay, might do the trick, but I'm actually not entirely sure. I haven't experimented with anything besides this picture, which is kind of a fail on my end, but let me know how it works on other pictures and go like post it on our Facebook page or something like that. Alright, so anyway, right now I've got a color of FFEA00, and it looks like it's actually blended pretty well with the rest of my background, so I'll just hit OK, and hit OK again, because everything looks alright. And then, so that's just one side of the aura, so let's go ahead and add another lightning bolt. And as soon as that's done, there we go. So let's select that, move it off to the side, like so, and we'll warp it like we did the other side. And let's just get this working. Alright, so that's manipulated to look like it's on this side of the aura. So let's go ahead and copy the layer style from this over to from the left side aura to the right side aura. So let's go to this this layer right here that's got our outer glow on it. Hold the Alt key or the Option key if you're on a Mac. Click and drag it to the other lightning layer that you've got. That will duplicate that for you. And I'm actually going to go ahead and add a mask to this one and go back to the brush tool and make sure our foreground color is set to black, and we'll just kind of get rid of the lightning that's kind of spilling onto the person you're photoshopping. So let's kind of do the same thing for this one as well. Kind of get rid of some of those excess little bits of lightning that are spilling onto me. And we'll go ahead and actually add one more lightning layer. And so let's select that, go to our move tool, move it off to the side a little bit, and actually transform it with Control-T, and we'll size it up quite a bit so that it looks like it's more about the right size for a person. And let's move it maybe right around, let's see, what would be good? Maybe right around here, something like that. And we'll add a check mark, or we'll just check mark that to commit those transformations. Holy crap, I can't talk. I've been recording for too long. And let's copy that layer style onto it again, like so. And then we'll mask it. And then let's make it so that's not, let's mask it so it's not going anywhere outside of the aura or anything like that. And we'll actually take it off of me a little bit too. But the actual purpose of this is to let a little bit of the lightning spill onto me like so. So just use our brush to kind of get rid of some of the areas that we don't want to actually keep. And let's get rid of some of that over there. It's actually looking pretty good right there. And then maybe not quite so much up here. Let's fix that up. Let's just get rid of that. Alright, that's actually looking pretty good. Let's see, maybe intensify this over here a little bit. Maybe not too much. Alright. Okay, so maybe that is a little too intense. Alright, so anyway, that's the general idea. Just use your skills with masking and all that kind of stuff to mess with the lightning, make it look like it's kind of spilling onto you a little bit, maybe behind you, whatever fits your taste. But that is basically all there is to it. Alright, holy crap, this was a long tutorial. I've been recording for way too long, but in the end, I think the effect turned out alright. Obviously, if you're doing this yourself, spend a little more time on it, experiment with the different brushes and the different blend modes and such like that, and mess with it in a way that you think looks good, and I don't know, just kind of take that yourself. Be creative, have fun with it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Even though it was kind of difficult for me to record and explain, I kind of have fun recording it in the end, I suppose. So please do me a favor, show some support, like this video, comment, go like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter, anything like that. And I don't know, I'm just really tired, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a day, guys. I will see you next Tuesday.